Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Monday, July 17th, 2023. This is my daily vlog. Content creation is something I'm trying to make sustainable since I was laid off some months ago. So each day I get up in the morning, stand here in front of this camera and talk about the process and the projects and the emotions and whatever it takes to try to get me there and see whether or not it's going to succeed or not. So let's jump right in then. Let's talk about, so this is Monday, let's talk about Friday a little bit and into the weekend. So I had wanted to complete a long form video for Friday or Saturday and I didn't get it done. Some things started interrupting me. I did some research on my next tier list and did some work on that. There's some trickery in there. There's some KidVid stuff with audio tapes, and I was doing some research with that and I got sidetracked, but also midday I got derailed a bit by the company that I'm consulting for got back in touch with me and they needed some more work and they needed it in a hurry. So I did a little back and forth with them, and after Saturday going to the toy show, which talk about in a second, I ended up working Sunday. So yesterday I actually did work a day because I'm continuing to work. I thought, remember I said, finally Sunday will be my big day off where I'll sleep in and we'll do it. It still hasn't happened. It still has. Maybe it's this weekend. We'll see. Anyway, so I ended up derailing it. Very good work that's paying work, but I had to kind of derail what I was doing to get that stuff in. And I mentioned I was going to a toy show down in Orlando, and it was a nice drive with some friends, but it was kind of a bust in terms of a toy show. It was not the one that I'd gone to a couple years ago. It turned out being it was much smaller than I thought, and the material there was the vendors were not really of vintage toys. So I came across a couple of things. I found a couple of old plug and plays. But old is only the early 2000s, not that old. Did find a couple of those on a shelf, and like an old vintage 70s Star Trek puzzle. Just some little doodads, nothing amazing. The good news is the big toy show that I was thinking this was is still coming. It's next month, so I'll get to cleanse my palate of this subpar toy show and check that out in a month or so, back in August. So let's talk about stats. We are definitely we're slid way down off of that big hill, and we've had some light days, 15, 20,000 views over the last Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But it hasn't really put a crimp in our subscribers' velocity. Keep in mind, the ramp down is really coming down off of those shorts that are performing well. So I would expect fewer subscribers over the next couple week or so maybe, while we're waiting for the next ramp. But we still crossed a couple of milestones. I think on Friday when we spoke, we were nearly 33,000. And now, as I speak with you today, we're 33,100 and something. So we crossed over 33, the next 1,000 mark, plus a further 100 plus. So good velocity, just not the crazy velocity that we had a couple weeks ago. And after having done this a few times, I think we're more used to that, right? I am, certainly. I remember the first one we kind of came down off of, like the end of the world. And remember, look, we'll get back to there. It'll ebb and flow. And how do we get that? By creating more content. So to that end, let's talk about today. So today I intend to do the long form video that I didn't get done on Friday. I got the thing is sitting on the table. I'm ready. I had to set it aside to do the other, the other consultant work. So I'll get back to that. The thumbnail is done. I got the preliminary shooting and writing for it. I just have to come in here, sit down and do it, and then go edit it. So I think I can get that knocked out today. And continue to do my research for the tier, which is definitely going to be Coleco games for the Atari. My research, I found there are 13 of those. Let me know if I'm wrong, but 13 released, a couple prototypes, of course. And really interesting titles, some really cool ones and some really weird ones as well. So I think that's going to be a good video when I get that done. Maybe end of the week, beginning of next week, I'm not sure. I want it done before I go to SFGE, before I take my time off. So I'm ramping it up. I'm working toward that. And before I go today, I want to talk a little bit about, I think, kind of an epiphany that I made. An epiphany is kind of like a light switch. This is more of like a gradual realization, I think, that I've started to make, which is that a lot of people ask, what's the secret to YouTube? What's the trick to YouTube? And the secret trick, I think, really is persistence and engagement with and building of a community. And those are all buzzwords, right? All those things you hear. And I heard them too in the past. And I think I'm not the first to figure this out, but I might be, it will be the first time that I'm able to verbalize what it is I think they meant. I think community is this buzzword for, it's like, makes people happy to be there because they think they're part of something. They feel part of a thing, right? And I think most people, when they hear that, they think, all right, we'll just make great videos, just be reply to comments, and that's it. And I think it's more than that. And I think YouTube knows that when they created the community tab, which is a place you can post just pictures and polls and messages and comments and things like that. It's like a little super low resolution Twitter or Facebook embedded into YouTube. And I never really used it for a lot, but ever since I started regularly posting like little distorted pictures each day, can you identify this movie or this album cover or whatever? It's a little thing that takes me like 15 minutes a day to do. I've noticed more and more growing engagement, not just in those, but that carries over. I see those same people regularly coming to comment and watch videos. And I think what's happening is that's what's meant by building community. It's building community outside of the videos. Like I tried this on Discord, and we have a fantastic community on Discord, but what we don't have on Discord is it's not in the same ecosystem. You have to want to go to Discord, right? You have to leave YouTube, go to Discord, get engaged, and feel like you want to come back to YouTube and see something. The nice thing about the community tab of YouTube that I found is it's a way to engage with people, provide entertainment and content and comments back and forth, and somebody says something funny and you respond, and on a daily basis, not just every time there's a video if they happen to watch it, because people tend to see these that won't watch every video, but you can maintain a level of interaction, and people I think then feel more engaged to come back and watch and engage with the actual content that we create, where the actual revenue is generated. So, and I don't say all this to say that, hey, here's how you trick people. It's not a trick. It's like, oh, I tricked people into not being hungry by feeding them. Well, you fed them, right? And so in the same way, I'm tricking people into feeling engaged by engaging with them. It's real, it's genuine. I'm really putting in the work. I think there's not a shortcut to creating community. And that community definitely carries over into what you see in regular, recurring people that come back again and again to watch your stuff. So when you hear people talking about there's community around a YouTube channel or a creator, I think it can be multiple pronged. I agree that Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all those things are important, but I think it's not a substitute for engaging with an audience where you want them to be. If you want them to be on YouTube, find a way to engage with them on YouTube, which is, again, I'm sure exactly why YouTube created this community tab years ago, and why only maybe 6 months ago I started using it regularly. Maybe 3 months ago I started really using it and seeing the difference. So, as I've always said several times during the course of the months of this vlog, that I hope that people will watch this from many different walks of life. Either maybe you were laid off and you're having trouble, or maybe you're trying to become a content creator and you're having trouble, or you just want to commiserate with somebody. And I think that's one of those little nuggets of wisdom that you can only get through discovering it yourself. I've heard it and heard it and heard it. It's discovering it and seeing, oh, this is what you mean. That community tab, creating that community, I think is a big deal toward cultivating the audience that you need in order to be sustainable. At least that's my belief. We'll see if I'm right in the coming months. Okay, time for me to get busy today. Did I cover everything? I did. Great. If you stopped in for today's vlog, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. If you're here every day, I love you for that. So thanks so much for being here. I want you to have a great Monday. Get your week off to a good start. Do something good for yourself if you can, and I'll talk to you again next day. Bye-bye.